Recording in progress. Cool. Tamwah. So
Morning.
everyone, hello. I'm here with a great friend, sister from another mister, Tamwah. She lives currently in Barbados, and everyone that's on here knows about Neville. Yeah, I think you do. If not, I'm gonna put in the description the Barbados link um, with regards to Neville. And Tema manifested, created, well, we're manifesting all day, every day. Tema created for herself that she moved from. I think you got there from Australia, right? Or were you somewhere else first?
No, I was in Australia. I was in Byron
Yeah.
Bay,
Yeah.
and
From there, she got herself in the times of COVID, people. Yeah. So nothing, everything is just like everyone and their mother will be how do you say that? Will be in on getting you your wish. So Temwa moved to Barbados.
mm,
That's what we're going to talk about, how she did that, like what did she do? Because Temwa's a very conscious creator, like she knows how life works and how you can create magic. So that's what we're going to talk about, and we're also going to talk about a little bit about your music, if time allows. And yeah,
sounds
so
good.
welcome. Tell us about you.
Okay, well, thank you for having me, for starters. It's
Yeah.
wonderful to be here. Um, yeah, so Monique and myself met in Byron Bay, which is actually a meeting ground for Indigenous Aboriginal Australians. It's always been that space. Amongst other things, people from all over Australia come to Barbados, sorry, to Byron Bay. Slip of the tongue. um, I'll get into that though, because that happens a lot. So
Mm,
we met there, and that land itself holds a vibration that's very beautiful, quite magic and transformative. And I think, that's why it attracts people from all over the world to go there. And so while we met, I was already in the practice of, I made vision boards and I used crystals and vibrational tools to help me get closer to the things that I want more of in my life.
yeah. Can I pause just 1 second? Because this is, I know this about you, and yeah, and I learned from you actually before. This is all before I learned about Netherlands. Like, how did you get, like, what, how did you know that this was the way that you can create your life with these vibrational tools? Like, where did you get that information?
Oh, we have to go right back. I was one of those weird kids that remembered. So I used to, as long as I can remember, I used to, inside myself, like we lived kind of in the bush. There wasn't there was a dirt road around my house. So I would go into the backyard and I'd sit there and look at the sun, and through my eyelashes, I would look at the light, look for the rainbows, and I would say, I'm always going to remember this. I'm going
Mm,
to remember who I am.
wow.
I'm always going to remember my connection. Like, I didn't say God because I didn't have that vocabulary, but to me, it was with nature, which in this time, that's, nature is consciousness and God consciousness, and it's all the same loving vibration that's supporting us all the time. So I came in like that. And my mum and my grandma, so my mum and my mum's mum, were very supportive in their ways to cultivate that within me. And both of them astral travel. That was like lots of different things. I was very open. So I
Mm,
came through that and I had that support. So I was very lucky to have that support.
mm,
Um, and so my grandmother in particular told me that just before I hit puberty, to start working with amethyst. And
mm.
I was astral traveling a lot at that time as well. And I was waking up so tired. So she said, put amethyst in your bed under your pillow, and it will help your spirit to return properly. Because what was happening was that I was going out and
Mm,
doing things, and I was exhausted from doing so much, and I wasn't actually returning properly into my body. It was
mm,
taking me a longer time to integrate.
mm.
So I started with, yeah, like back then. like when I
Yeah,
was a
so
kid.
cool. Thank you for, I knew a little, of course, and like when we met, you also did some work on me, some energy work, and I knew that you can't come, or I know that you come from a line of healers and seers, and but yeah, cool. Thank you for explaining that. And then now back to Byron Bay. So you were already like working with all these vibrational tools.
Yes, that's right. And in that time, I had this thing where I'm like, because I was also doing a lot of healing work, so people come to Byron to heal. So I was assisting a lot of people, which was lovely. And then to find my space, because I'm very much an empath. So when it's my time off, I would actually set the tone by saying, I'm going to Brazil, I'm going to Hawaii, or
I
would
remember Brazil, yeah.
normally it was Brazil. I was just on this thing. I have such a link there that I would play music from Brazil. I would cook food from that place. I would dance around and have fun. And I have, some friends that are also love Brazil or Brazilians, so they would encourage me as well if I saw them during the day, And we just make it playful. Like as kids, we play. We go into make-believe worlds and it's normal, and then it becomes unnormalized as we get system. If we go through the system, it becomes so unnormal to have an imagination.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a conspiracy theory. I'm not into that stuff, but the first thing that I just thought when you said it, I thought, they must have known, like the ones that made it weird to use your imagination too much, they must have known that that's what gets us our dreams. But anyway, no, we don't have to go there. But yeah, so we still use these tools and you use it as well, amazingly so.
Yes. So back then I'd made a vision board as well. I had my niece come and stay, and it was the first time she'd come to stay, and it was so exciting. We did photo shoots and made vision boards together, and I put all these pictures of the Caribbean and having great hair and all these things that are so important to, they're important to me, and music and all sorts of things on it. And actually, like, I should send you a photo of that because everything on there has come true. And
wow, yeah, do it. Maybe I can put it somewhere in one of the frames. Yeah.
Yes, and when I was doing it, I was in that same energy of playfulness, and I wasn't trying too hard. I wasn't trying to like, that's mine, or I wasn't holding on to anything. I was playful, and I think that that's really the key. Is to keep it as light as possible.
Yeah, you're already answering some questions that I have, because that's exactly the thing. What all the teachers also say is don't get attached. But then when you want something, you're like, yeah, but how do I not get attached? But actually you get not attached by being happy and playful and just feel your energy flow in this happy state. And then that's how you also let go of the attachment, because attachment is serious, it's dense, it's like trying to make something happen. Yeah.
And I also feel like attachment's a partial belief that you don't already have it, that you don't deserve it, and you can't be yours. So part of that grasping in the energy of attachment, that is driven by that. So and then fast forward, I had a partner from Barbados, and I thought that would be cool to visit Barbados, but things didn't work out with the partner, and that was fine. And I ended up in Brazil, and a whole journey, series of events, all went pear-shaped at, I think, 2019, around that end of 2018-19. And there was all sorts of unrest in Brazil with the Bolsonaro coming into presidency, and tanks and all sorts of things that I'd never seen, like violence that I'd never seen before. And I thought to myself,
can I ask you, because so all these things that happened for me, that's just the perfect scenario to get you out of there and to get you on your path to where you are now. And how it happens, we don't know. But is it also how you look at it? Like what was happening at the moment there? Like super like, oh, I like to
Yeah.
not be here.
Yes, because I spent all those years before and so much time, like I'd spent quite a bit of time in Brazil physically as well. I love it there. So I spent a lot of time and energy in this imaginary world, and also doing things with Brazilian culture back in Byron Bay with music to bring me into that space. And then I arrived in that space and everything you could imagine that could go wrong went wrong. And it was not my experience that I would normally, like the people that I meet in Brazil are so loving and wonderful, and I have great friends, but the experience that time was not that. And so I was like, okay, I've got to book another ticket. I'd lost this ticket. Anyway, I use a credit from a ticket and I thought, I'm going to go back to Australia. I've had enough of this. The vibrations, like it's really heavy vibes here. I just need to get home and back onto country and just chill. And I'm going to stop through Barbados on the way through because I always wanted to go. And just because things didn't work out with that person that had the link there, I'd had so many dreams about it. And I thought, just go 9 days. And
funny, isn't it? When you look back now, like there was, my soul was already knowing. I was just not in on the
details.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So I ended up meeting my current partner there. I wasn't looking for anything. I had said to the universe after the previous breakup, I'm ready for a really deep soul relationship. I really feel ready for that now. Whenever. And I was really like, I just let go of all my controlling parts of myself. And, you know, that takes a lot to let go of all that control.
Yeah.
Because who doesn't want love?
No, well, but it's also about what you said. It's that attachment because you let go of because you believed that it was possible for you. Like and that's when you just let go.
That's right.
Or what? Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. And I allowed myself to go through the process of like grieving and letting go of all these things. I realized that it wasn't about the person that I was with before either. It was that person is absolutely beautiful and they are a key that have led me to a path. I'm so grateful for that. And it was actually all this other stuff, this other programming and conditioning that I'd had in my head around the things that I want and how they'd look. And it was that part of identity that does want to attach, that does want security, that wants to be, you know, hold on, that I had to really crack open another level of that aspect of myself.
Fear. Yeah. So fear, and it's like, it's not you, like it's not the true you, but it's amazing. And that you know how to navigate that, and that you know what's going on, and that you know what is needed in order for you to go to the next level and to get what you want. And so how much time was there in between you grieving, letting go, and saying, okay, I'm ready for the next level, and meeting your current partner?
Probably like a week and a half. Crazy, it was so fast. And one, like a tip that I would definitely say to anybody that's going through something similar or that wants to transform something is go into the feeling, feel it as deep as you can. It, like, allow that energy, that emotion to transform you. Like, once we actually receive the feeling fully, whatever those feelings are, then we can get the gifts from those feelings. And I cried, like I was walking around just crying on the street. I thought, oh, well, who cares? I look a bit crazy, but I just need to do that. I need to be real. That's how I'm feeling. And then, I literally felt myself. I woke up one morning, like 2 days later or 3 days later, feeling like a blue butterfly. Oh, this is a new chapter in my life. I felt like I got all of those things, those lessons. Yeah. But you also know, like with manifesting, there's so many other influences that can come in and kind of affect how things run as well. So you have like external influences. We're talking about me coming to Barbados during the pandemic and the external influence, Australia was just about to change its rules on people being able to leave the country completely.
But can I
Yes.
jump in here? Because it's I think it's a perspective. So I do not believe it has to affect us when we don't see it as it is able to affect us. We can still say, yeah, it's the reality now, but I know that I'm a powerful creator and I don't know how, but even with all this stuff going on, I know that I will get there.
Mm-hmm. And also, and all the tools that we have and that we have used and utilized with our light frequency body, our energy body, our spirit. Yeah. When we're using those tools, we're actually helping to embody and ground a bigger aspect of ourselves that makes it easier to navigate and drive this lovely meat body.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so even like when rules are changing and timelines look like they're cutting off, sorry, that was me. Timelines look like they're cutting off, they're still a way. And what I found in that, my practice was heavily, like every day, wherever I am, I talk to my ancestors. Normal. I have a cup of coffee with my ancestors. It's not like I've got to pray now and it is a sacred space, of course, but all life to me is sacred anyhow. So this moment to the next moment, it's all sacred. So normalizing that relationship with my ancestral energies that love me unconditionally, and that's a very important part to put in.
Can I conclude that you use the ancestral energy to help you? How I want to say it now is not what I want, because I want to get what you want, but that sounds manipulative. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, do you ask them for support in your decision? Like, how does a conversation like that go?
So very good question. And I love to connect with my ancestors because I'm so grateful for everything that's happened so far on this amazing adventure of my life, right? And they've been there every single step of the way, whether I've acknowledged them or not. They're working in my favor anyway. My language might be different to yours. You might call it a spirit guide, an angel. Just adapt the language to whatever fits the framework for you. But for me, it's my ancestors. So I speak with them and I talk to them in such a way, like I wait till I feel feelings from my heart to connect through the feelings to talk to them. And when sometimes it's just thanking them for everything that I've seen and everything that I know that they're doing. And just saying thank you for continuously opening up the way for me to be more aligned with my higher self and what's for my highest good.
Instead of like, I want that, but it might not be what is for your highest good. So then
right. And sometimes I have come specifically, like I've asked with me and my partner, if it's meant to be for our highest good, please open the way for it to happen effortlessly, gracefully, in divine timing, with finance, financial abundance, and especially in this time, I'm sure that a lot of people are just asking for their health to stay radiant. So all of those things, I definitely ask for that as well. And I also use my feeling and my language in such a way that I'm thanking it for already being here. It's already here. It's already in existence. So I'm not having this energy coming out of me like shooting arrows trying to find something. It's in my field. I just haven't been able to feel it because I'm a bit denser, but they know it.
Oh, wonderful. So if I interpret it correctly, it's a grounding. It helps you ground and it assists you in trusting life more, and just also the knowing that you're not doing this alone. You have this whole pack of Williamses that are rooting for you. Yeah.
That's it. And also there's an energy of like when you can sort of lean back into life and you're not like constantly in this motion of trying to push forward, pushing through the density. And it's really our own density that we're trying to push forward. And it comes from that same place that we're talking about, we touched on before, like the lack of trust that we could potentially have that thing. So the leaning back, and then in the leaning back, you get these impulses and inspirations for certain actions at certain times, and you just got to follow it. It's as easy as that. You just got to follow it. Like, oh, I'm going to do my form now. Okay, great. Did my form. Okay, I'm going to put my form in right now. Now's the day. Put your form in. And for me, I got a yes pretty much straight away. You can leave the country. And then 2 days later, lo and behold, to myself, the whole laws changed. So you get guided. You get taken out of your way.
And you know when to, you know exactly when to, when you don't. So it's really funny. This happens a lot in with technology. So what you just said, can you repeat it one more time? Because what happened is at the moment you were talking about the form, the energy probably went sky high, and then it was so can you say that one more time? So you were in
Pull
the leaning
up.
back, you pull up. MC Tamwah in the house. Yeah.
So in the leaning back, you actually get to hear, receive the messages and impulses and inspiration, signs, symbols, things that are helpful for when you need to action, because we're co-creators, so we do need to put some action in. So in the leaning back is an action as well. It's a decision, a conscious decision. So then you get these inspirations, these feelings that you follow, your feeling sense to take. For me, it was fill out that form and hand that form in on that day.
Yeah. So, and this form you needed, was it for a visa, or what kind of form was it?
Yeah, so I needed to get a visa, but I also needed to get permission to leave Australia because no one had permission at that stage, and they were just about to change the laws. So I got permission the day that I felt do it. I got permission on that day. 2 days later, they changed the whole law so that nobody could leave Australia for any reason whatsoever, probably unless you're a celebrity. But
crazy, right?
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I have something that I want to share with everyone and with you, which is also such a cool story. Shortly, someone that I met in Berlin, who, like, I told him about my love for Australia and blah. And he was like, yeah, I got a scholarship, but everything is closed and I can't go. And this was about a year ago. No, not even 6 months ago. And I said to him, stop. It is possible. You don't know how, you don't need to know how, it will happen. Okay, fast forward 6 months. I messaged him, I said, hey, let's meet up. And he was like, yeah. Huh? So we saw each other and he said, guess what? I'm going to Australia. And I was like, yeah, I knew it. You did it. And he was like, yeah, I didn't even believe anymore that it was going to happen. And but now they opened the borders again for students. And I was like, you see, like, even if you can't see, no way, you're not, like, that's not your job. The way is, you should not, it's not your job. Your job is stay focused. Oh yeah, and I want to talk about that as well, because we talked about this before when we caught up a week ago, that it's not always about being super positive, because sometimes the doubts will come up. Can you speak a bit on that? Like, what was going on in all this time that you, from the moment that you decide, like, hey, I want to be there with my partner, and literally creating it. Yeah,
that's right. And like, so yes, there's that. We all have dualistic parts of ourselves. So there's the part of myself that was like, I trust that it's going to happen. Of course, these are the actions. I'm listening to the inspirations, the messages. And then there was moments, like waves of, oh my gosh, I'm not going to see my partner again. As you start to see the world lock in and feel that blanket of collective fear come into my field, that's what I could feel, like, oh, the doubts, the And sometimes speaking to too many people as well, because their impressions and whatever they're going through, their projections onto my own situation and onto what I know is going to be true for me can actually also alter, especially if you really love and respect the person. It can change the shape because you have these emotional ties. And I also found just having an emotional tie with my partner as well, like because of that, because I wanted with such a beautiful connection, of course, I naturally want to be with him. We want to be together. So there's also like that feeling of, oh, what if it doesn't happen somewhere in my field as well?
And what did you do? Like, what did you do?
I was constantly parenting myself and picking me out of that space and putting myself into a frequency that is more useful. Even if I felt like, even if I felt heavy in my heart that day and missing and longing, and we were apart for 18 months in the end.
Wow.
So it's a long time to like be on calls with each other and having
yes and no. Yeah.
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 Wow. And
but then how would a conversation like this go? So you're parenting yourself, and what would you say to yourself?
So I'm just just thinking of like something like, okay, you know all of that's happening, and you know that there's so many different levels of dimensions that exist at the same time. Now you need to put into your field exactly what you want. Program yourself because you're being programmed right now. And so then it would be just the case of like turning some music on and moving my body, getting into my body, being physical. Like walking on the beach was also fantastic as well, because you have all that space. A view with space is amazing if you feel like your energy is real close and dense to your body.
And the water also cleanses, right? Like the ocean and
big time. Yeah, the water's amazing. And I think through water, because it holds so much memory, and you can tap in, like I was tapping into the ocean of the Caribbean by being in the ocean in Byron. So tapping into the two. Yeah. And staying grateful, because I was also like, you know what, you might be feeling like, ooh, but at least you have that person to be with.
About, yeah.
Right. A lot of people in my immediate environment were searching heavily for their partner so that they could potentially have that same feeling, have the love, So I kept looking at life that way. Like we're all looking for that deeper connection, that deeper love with ourselves and our peoples.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what I hear you say is actually, so in a nutshell, you had this vision, you had this wish, you knew that this was your man. And then you just got to work. And you constantly kept reminding yourself of how reality really works, giving yourself some challenges through other people that were reflecting old beliefs that you didn't want to be a part of anymore, and then just nursing yourself through it and using your ancestors, nature, like the bigger part of you, because we are infinite, right? We are like super big. We expand beyond our physical body into, and using all of that.
Yes. And music really helps as well for me. Music's really helpful. So in that time, just before the world shut down into the pandemic, I was at my university course doing a sound engineering course, and I was in a studio all by myself, and my partner's mum, who had passed 30 years ago, came in the room, touched me on the shoulder and said, buy a ticket today. She's real stern. Said, ask my partner for some help as well, and that you'll get a ticket for $1,800 Australian, which is unheard of to get to Barbados. It's so far away. And it was 1,800, and I got on the plane. I got there in record time when I went. It was 26 hours only. It's normally like 40 something, but it was very direct. I went Australia, LA onto wherever, Miami on.
Yeah.
It was so direct. It was so direct and amazing. And, you know, I don't expect that coming from Australia, going to South America or places that I like to regularly go to. It's a long haul. So to get that, I was like, I'm so lifted, so guided. And we had 6 days together. And I was on one of the last planes out of the country to go back to Australia because my guidance told me, go back to Australia. And in that time, I finished my degree. And in that time, I finished my album. There was a lot of completing and a lot of success for myself, which was wonderful. That I think that if I just stayed on, I would have been feeling like I didn't achieve these things that I, yes. So this way, and it's interesting because I know I'm talking a lot, but often we think that if we want that thing, there's something that has to weigh up. Like I can't have it all. There's often that belief that we can't have it all.
We have to choose. Yeah.
But we don't. That's it. And I really wanted to I've been smashing that down, dissolving that within my field for years. Yeah, like I can have it all. I can create music and have love, a beautiful soulful relationship and a sense of home, and I can be healthy in myself and I can do things how I want to do them. I can be free. And I've been working towards that vision this whole time. And I see, like, if I didn't listen to my intuition and listen to my fear voice was just stay. You know, my fear voice said, you should just stay here. What if you can't get back here? So it actually took more courage to listen to my intuition. And it was so much more fruitful to listen to my intuition. So because of the completion of what I could do.
What I'm wondering, because this is what my belief is anyway, and it is also true that what you believe that is true will be true for you, but I have a feeling this is a bit deeper. So would you say, well, you're going to say yes, but anyway, would you say that the more you are doing what you're supposed to do, like following your gift and your talents, that is also the thing that will bring you closer to your person? Like that has to do with each other. Like if you're still like, oh, what's my purpose? And like, look, I don't know, that it's not necessarily the vibration that you need to be in to also be with the one.
Yeah, I think it's not so black and white. I think that some people, from what I have watched, some people find their other regardless, and that's their adventure, you know.
Yeah,
and
true. And it's about what's your adventure.
Yeah, and they have all their challenges and gifts within that too. Whereas I feel like for me and many other of my friends and people that vibrate in, you know, that are aware of tools and like consciously creating their lives, I feel like yes, because our mindset is in a different space, very much so. What you said before, what you think, what you believe is how the reality is.
Will prove itself to be true. I have to check. Yeah, okay.
We're good?
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. And I also, because I want to check if I've asked you everything that I wanted to ask you with regards to this, and then I would love to talk a bit about your music as well, because being an artist, you had to also work through a lot of collective consciousness that says, yeah, but you know, you will never, nothing, if you're an artist, you have to struggle. So that's also something that I would love for you to talk a bit about, if you want.
For sure.
Let me see. Yeah. So, but this can also, what fears or thoughts still tend to trip you up? Like, do you have a specific kind of, I don't know, thing that keeps coming back from time to time, and how do you deal with that fear?
Okay, so yes, for sure. At this moment, what's that voice, it's always the same. It's, you know, it's the same voice voicing inside my space. And it's trying to find, it's trying to create some attention by getting stressed out about what's going to happen with my visa. Can I stay here? How am I going to extend? But I actually clocked. Now, this part of me is very smart. It will shapeshift to stress about something else. So as soon as I like go, lean back, and also, I also really have been seeing daily that little miracles are happening. So I'm acknowledging these little miracles that are happening around me, and of course are happening for me too. So when I'm seeing that, that's what helps me to pop out of it. But then that part of myself, it will go, oh yeah, and then it will go on to something else, like how are we going to pay the bills? We've earned no money this month. You know, it will do something, and it's a very interesting part of the human psyche, I think. And I honestly, the best thing I can do with that is I have like a little routine. The routine's great. It needs security.
Yeah.
That's what myself is asking for, baseline. I want to feel secure. I can't control all these things, so I'm freaking out, and I want to feel secure. So what can I feel secure about without freaking out and being driven to that security by fear? So things like my workout, I love it. You know, getting into the music that I'm making and committed to the projects I'm doing, I love that. Getting up, going outside and crossing the road into nature. And for me, it's the beach. And swimming it off. I can do that. If you don't have that, even in the shower for me is just something that I can easily use that water to reset myself. Like I'll say, I empower the water to reset my vibration to my highest vibration.
Yeah, just rinse it off. That's what, yeah. Water is so powerful. Like I hear it time and time again through different routes. Yeah. Wonderful. Okay, I think you answered already everything organically.
Because we're still all of those things, even as we're working on ourselves and evolving and on this adventure, we still have all of those parts of ourselves. But it's like I see it like a big studio mixer. Those fears that once were up here are now being dialed down here. And if you listen very close, it's still you can still hear it a little bit in the song, but it's not making it sound bad. So, you know, it's still within the whole matrix of who we are in our energy field.
It's a nice analogy. Yeah. I like that. That's a wonderful analogy to just like, dial it. Nah, just dial it down. And I can hear it, but it's not bad. It's part of it. Yeah. It is part of, so it's part of us being whole. It's not that we need to get rid of anything. No, just let it be, but don't give it too much importance.
Yeah. Or like, I realize it's a security thing. So look for what it's trying to point you towards and deal with that root issue. For me, the root issue was to feel secure.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you listen enough, you'll be able to see, you know, don't listen to the story of what it's trying to tell you, but what it's about, the emotion behind it, that will actually help you transform.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So good. So good. And it's also, that was one of the questions that I also had. Like now looking back, because when you were in it, you had all this stuff going on, right? Like trusting, not trusting, like all these things were going on. And you were also, you know how to create. So you had tools to help you. Now looking back, what can you see that you did or didn't do that has helped you speed up this process? If there was a speeding up anyway, I don't know, maybe we should take speed up out of the equation, but like, was there anything that you can see now looking back that has helped you create this for yourself?
I reckon the biggest thing is for me to stay in my alignment. So remember you did the other day when we caught up, you did a chakra balance to check if my chakras were all spinning. So in the right way and all of that, you know, if they're balanced. And that, I think, is one of our core, it's like brushing your teeth. It's a core maintenance thing that is important if we're to acknowledge that we're actually spiritual beings living through the human naturistic elements of this flesh. That's and and also, I mean, for me, I work with water a lot. I drink water with crystals in it. I infuse my water with love. There's something that I feel in my body needs, I'll infuse the water with that and drink the water. There's lots of ways, like little simple things that I've incorporated that I probably even take for granted or, you know, forget because I'm doing them. So I'm just trying to think as a, and I'm just trying to think.
What I hear you say is that you make your vibration the most important. Like you mind your vibration and you clean your energy body as you do your physical body. Yes. And you take it as serious as, and I love how you linked that to the chakra thingy that I was doing for you. So I've been really diving deep into it. I feel super strongly that it's part of my purpose. Like all of a sudden it was there in the week that I caught COVID. And like, I just, in that week, everything just came together for me that makes so much sense. My hard drive started working again, where all these pictures are on that I missed so much. And like everything just came together for me in that week. And so ever since, like now I do daily things with my chakras, and I also measure. And yesterday it was yesterday, I had like something happened and I could feel, I woke up fearful. I thought, what's going on? But I didn't do anything to take that away. And then something happened that was, I could feel it in my energy field. Like you can feel things, nice things, but also things that are not so nice. You can feel that they're close and about to pop. And you can either do something to get yourself out of that vibration so that it won't pop. And when it happens, like I fixed it, doesn't matter. But it's funny because all of a sudden I realized, I thought, hey, that is what was going on. I could feel that this was about to happen. We can just, if we're mindful. And then I did yoga in the evening. I checked my chakras before the yoga. And my solar plexus chakra was kind of like, it wasn't going in reverse how it was before, like before I started the work a couple of weeks ago. It was rotating in the right direction again, but really small. And then after yoga, I did it again. It was open again. It was vibrating. I thought, oh yeah, so cool. So cool that we can just measure this stuff.
I think that is a really awesome, like picking up the pendulum or finding like practical tools that you can measure it is a great way to like show self that you're also growing and evolving. And we need those things. We need those increments. We need to be able to see that.
Yeah.
I think. Especially with something not so tangible.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so that's like, if you would, it's actually, this would be a closing question, but I'm going to ask it now because who cares? And we can ask it again later. So what is the tip? Like, what is the number one, or you can also give a couple, what would you give people that are like, I so would like to create this for my life? Like, what would you tell them? You're nursing them into their, helping them get their creation. What would you tell them? Like,
I would ask them what do they do and how does it feel when they're aligned with the universe, God, whatever that source energy is, whatever the name is, because we have a memory of that from some point. There's a reference. I would ask them to link in with that, and it's almost like that in itself starts to start the process, because it turns on the switch of, oh, that was a better feeling. I'd rather choose that feeling. Oh, that starts to feel expansive. Yeah, I want to return to that moment to moment or day to day. So to link into our spirit, our spiritual nature more often, Like make it part of the day. Like what you said with the yoga and checking before and checking afterwards. That's checking like where your spirit's at. You just did that so naturally, and it's such a great thing to do. So I would say that is the number one thing, to bring as much of your absolutely gorgeous self and all of your gifts and all of your talents that exist within your spirit and everything that's for you actually. So if you can bring more of that, or when you bring more of that into your physical reality and body and life, daily life, then it becomes more normalized and it's able to ground through you, and you're able to expand and you can hold more. And as you keep being able to hold more in your energy field, you can actually hold what is meant for you anyway.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So it can be with you and come to you because you have that. I went to this workshop once and it was so cool what he said. Like, it was a very interesting workshop. It was about creating abundance. And like, there were so many things said that I was like, but there were also things that I was like, yeah. So I just like mix and matched and this guy said, if you have a tiny energy, then you can hold little money. But if you have a big energy, then you can hold a lot of money. And like, so this is really also how, like, you don't need to have a big energy necessarily and like walk around like this, but like you need to have literal space for it to come in, and for you have to be able to hold it. And when you make yourself small and you're fearful, like you can't hold abundance and things that want to be with you, or they're already with you in some other timeline. Like that expansiveness and that, cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yes. Yeah, you're toning it down because of my ears. Yeah. So we have about 10 more minutes. Please tell us about this music journey of yours. Like how, like what's up with that, your music?
All right, so yeah, I can yell loud. So I am a singer-songwriter and I produce music, and I've always loved writing.
Forever. Yeah.
Always loved writing songs, forever. Yep. Like, when they ask you as a kid, what do you want to be? I was the little girl, so shy, mind you, that would say, I want to sing and I would like to dance. And so I would do that for my immediate family, but no one outside of that. Ooh. And I realized, like, growing up, I was very lucky to have the opportunity to learn instruments and be supportive. So mum and dad are both quite musical, so they supported me to learn the violin and learn singing, and I was very lucky to have that. And from, I guess, that, I was in bands and things, and I felt like the two things that have come together for me as healing work, frequency work, and music as the same thing. So they both work with frequency, and they both can be very healing, and they're both instant. And tuning people's in the energy work that I do, working on people's bodies, I often hear their frequency when they drop some density. I'll hear their tone go higher.
Wow. Yeah. Wow.
During a session.
That's amazing.
Which is really cool, right? And that's so to me, it's like working with somebody is like tuning their instrument. And
that's also what they say, that's also what Seth says, one of the teachers that I'm very much into, that we all, like, we have tones, like we have a personal, and like we have one that's always the one that it is, and we have one, it tends to go off tone.
Yes, because we're light, like sound is also light as well, and light is also sound. So imagine like your core tones, your core color or colors, and the ones that change is probably much like an aura reading that's interchangeable, coming in and out. And I know I'm just going to bookmark this little rant for a second, because there's a little tip that is also really I'd like to give, because I'm getting the like sense to give. This one is inside our heads. Often, as you're going about your day, even when you're listening to music, there can be all sorts of things going on, right? Conversations, ruminating over things, talking bad to ourselves, talking up ourselves, singing a song, all sorts of things can be happening. We're constantly being programmed. So what happens if you actually just chose a song that had really wonderful words in it and you sung that throughout your day in your head, is you'll find that your system starts to calm down because it's got this frequency happening, and the mind that likes to go off on the tangents and do all the different talking in here, it has something to do. It's actually singing the song with you, which is really cool. So that is a tip to like get yourself out of a funk.
Nice. Yeah, perfect. And you are programming your unconscious or your subconscious with these words and these tones, and so even if you can't hear it speak, it's still running there.
That's it. Yeah. And music is so emotional too. Like think of all the love songs or happy songs or whatever. It's so emotional. So you're singing it. The artist has created it with a certain emotion, intention, vibration. When you link in, you're linking into that vibration, and that's helping you be in that vibration. And so, like, I guess as an artist, I'm conscious of that element before I create music and while I'm creating music. So I want to be in the right energy, the energy that feels true, I should say. Yeah. When I'm creating the song, or if I'm singing the lyrics and recording it for life, you know, that's the transmission. Or if I'm performing, sometimes I've set an energy intention before I go on stage that everyone will, I ask that everyone receives healing that's for their highest good through this music.
That's wonderful.
I'm not attached to it, but I'm using the sound.
No, yeah. And you use the intention, and that's amazing. Like, because that's what I like. Before we went on here, I said, okay, I have the intention that whoever sees this will get exactly what they need.
Yes.
And then the right people will see it. And the same with your music, and with music. Oh, also with this video, like it will stay on YouTube forever. And your music will be there forever. So even if someone hears it in 20, 30, 40, 50, this intention goes across time and space. So it will still be there and give the person whatever it is that you intended it to give.
And so I love that with music, because it's given me the avenue to not just be one-on-one working, but to work with the collective consciousness, or like to work on a bigger scale with people, to be able to touch more people, to be able to be of service through music. With
and people. you have been able to do this for a long time, and it gets better and better, right? The opportunities just grow as they grow as you grow as well.
Yes. And the more confident, and the confidence that I've grown within myself creates more opportunities as well. So that's an interesting thing too. Like, doesn't seem to matter what age, what color your skin sack is. What is for you is for you, and it will come for you no matter where you are. At the right time that it's for you, it really will come.
Yeah.
And so, it's interesting because I would say, like, using music in that way, being aware in that way, and utilizing music to heal, to
uplift.
Also, I think that's giving myself that bigger purpose as well as actually helped me to step into it, because I feel like, I'm contributing something to humanity as well. That's bigger than my own, I want to be a star, I want to be famous.
If I'd gone down, fine too.
Yeah, but for me, if I'd gone down that road, it would have been a whole different journey. But I've always wanted to be of service and uplift humanity and protect nature. So, you know, I'm creating artwork, like I created my last album that was all about the two, and uplifting water, like being an advocate for water and the importance of water and in our lives and for the planet and for sustaining life on the planet, and different stories from other Aboriginal people, as well as other artists that I collaborated that are conscious.
So
Yes.
Can you share 3 or up to 5 songs with me that I can put in the description that you really like? I know they're all your children, right? So you cannot favor. It's like, yeah, but can you pick a few songs that you're like, yes, this is what I would love to share, and this is what I would love for you to, yeah, to
Yes.
vibe with? Yeah,
And
cool.
I would love to do that. And actually, last weekend, I started making a video clip for one of the songs, which is called Water is Life, at a freshwater spring here. And that song, I feel like I had no idea when I put out the album with these 9 songs, what songs we're going to take off or, you know, go on their journey. I had one song that I thought, this is the song, it was the title of the album, so Love Like Water is the song, and I thought that's a title, so that will probably fly, and it has. But this Water is Life song has just taken off everywhere, so I thought,
oh, wow, yeah.
I want to make a special video clip where people can watch and feel the frequency of nature and feel the frequencies of what I'm bringing through. And so that's what that's what the video is about. So that should be out in a few weeks. Let's just say that.
So nice. Yeah. So then as soon as it's out, I'm gonna, because I think it's gonna take a week, maybe a bit sooner when this video will be up, and then I can add this link later. And you know what, Tamwah, I don't think there was ever an interview up until now where I had so many goosebumps. Like I just, when you were just now also talking about the water, I could just really feel being there and feeling this wonderful tingling, rinsing,
yes,
cleaning energy. Yeah. Wow.
So funny because your cat just made the bells go at, like,
yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So yeah, this is, I think I want to end our interview with, what are you grateful for at this moment? It could be a couple of things, obviously. Like what are you grateful for right now at this moment?
Oh, right now I'm grateful for loving friendship that keeps evolving through space and time with yourself. Like we hadn't seen each other for so long and nothing had changed, just the love had grown even more. So you know what I mean? I am so, because we're also both working on ourselves too. So we're upping our vibration together, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life. So that's number one. I'm grateful for this space that is my creative space right now. I'm grateful to have this space. I have I have time. I don't have the pressure on me to create right now, which is wonderful. I'm very thankful for that. And I'm really grateful to be here with my partner. I'm so thankful that, you know, yes, I'm really grateful for that. I had something else come to my mind, but I forgot what I was going to say. So whatever that is, I'm grateful for that too.
Oh, what a treat. I'm grateful for internet, and that we get to, you know, from like you Barbados, me Berlin, to get to connect and then drop all these amazing wisdom bombs for everyone to create their best lives.
Like, exactly. Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And none of us are perfect. So just like these little bits, these snippets are so helpful. Like, I'm not perfect, you're not perfect, we know it. And we're having
I'm close to perfect, sorry.
I mean, we're close. We are pretty much, our imperfection is the perfection. That's what I would like to say about
that.
I'm
the norm. Yeah. So just be me. Yeah.
But that whole this idea, especially in Western culture around perfection, and it can be quite stifling. I think that it's really cool to be able to hear from different points of view, from people that are just being real and honest, and you get to see like, oh, there's an artist that's not like in a shimmery jumpsuit bling blinging, whatever. Like I also, that's what I wanted to say. Sorry, Mon, I'm just going to add it in here.
No, go.
This is a great tip if you're an artist, especially, but this relates to anything. You have your thing that you're most passionate about, which is the thing that you're passionate about and inspired is probably what your soul wants to experience in this life. While you're growing into it, and even still, it's also wonderful to support yourself with that and not put all the pressure on yourself. Like, believe in it, know it, but don't put the pressure that that thing has to be the golden egg and give you like financial support right now. What I did on my journey, I've used my healing, whether it be hands-on healing, whether it be working in a shop and healing through talking with people, whether it be making coffee and talking with people and healing, whether it be reading tarot and helping people find solutions and being practical with that stuff and healing. So it's always the same blanket, but make it practical in a way that you can contribute in a way that's giving value and makes you feel good about what you're doing. And you also get to earn money and support the thing that you're passionate about. Take that pressure off.
Neville says it's something like, don't condition your desire. Like, don't condition the thing. Let it come and accept it and go with it. And don't say it can only be like this. No, just be open. So that's what I hear you saying, right? Just because it can come through so many different avenues.
That's it. And there's no cutoff point.
Yeah, wonderful.
You could be like podcasting into your 90s and 100s. Imagine that.
I will, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
I will speak to you like every so many years. Okay, what's going on? And at one point we are.
No, we're gonna be like super fabulous.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
120, darling.
Yes, fabulous, my dear. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Stay on here when I while I say goodbye, and then like I will end the recording. So everyone, thank you so much for watching. And it's my intention that you have the best wisdom out of this amazing interview with Tamwah from Barbados. Oh yeah, and I will also in the description check out the Barbados story from Neville if you haven't heard of this yet, because it's a sign for you, for me, even for Tamwah who's there, that everything and everything beyond that, everything that you can wish for is already yours. So much love. See you in the next one. Ciao. So now I have to.